Article in the New York Times: Seattle passes minimum pay rate for Uber and Lyft drivers. The city became the second in the nation to create a compensation standard for ride-hailing drivers after New York. Now, every city should follow suit. They should have a minimum in place. In Seattle, they happen to rule on $16, right? $16. They say upside, you can obviously earn up, let's say, average of $30, but you can always fall back on that minimum. What I hate seeing is that if drivers have an off day or an off hour or a few unproductive hours and you're just not hitting those minimums, you're barely paying for your gas, basically wasted hours, basically going backwards because you have the wear and tear of your car. You got to have a minimum in place. So cities like Austin, Miami, Denver, Albuquerque, whatever city out there, right? San Antonio, Houston, even LA, San Francisco, we should all have our minimums in place and then room to earn more upwards. But the minimum, the safety net has to be there. So this is a good thing. And you might think otherwise. Again, you're more than welcome to put your comments below. But I believe that if you know what your minimums are, you know what hours you're putting in, you can do a great projection per month. What will I bring in? Will I cover the rent? Will I cover the food? Will I cover the tuition of my kids? Right? Versus, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to earn this specific week. It's a hit or miss. Right? So the Seattle Council approved a minimum pay standard for Uber and Lyft drivers on Tuesday. Under the law effective in January 2021, ride-hailing companies must pay a sum roughly equivalent after expenses to the city's $16 minimum hourly wage for businesses with more than 500 employees. The pandemic has exposed the fault lines in our systems of worker protections, leaving many frontline workers like gig workers without a safety net. The Saddles law passed convincingly 9-0. That is modeled on a measure that New York City passed in 2018. Last year, California approved legislation effectively requiring Uber and Lyft to classify drivers as employees rather than independent contractors. What this writer, this is a good article by Noam Schreiber, what this writer gets wrong is that we are sold on the fact that we are independent contractors. We are not true independent contractors. We don't set our rates. In fact, Uber and Lyft at their headquarters, they have a combination of employees and true independent contractors, right? They can set their rates. Uber and Lyft can accept them. Could be consultants, engineers, etc. We are not able to set our own rates. We are not true independent contractors. We are sort of like semi-ICs. So he gets this wrong. What we need to fight for is full IC status. That's what I fight for, right? So the hogwash that they try to sell you there with yes on 22 with all those misleading ads making you believe you're an independent contractor. No, you're not. You've got to fight for that status. Now, that being said, I would like to see a minimum, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, in San Diego, in Orange County, in the Inland Empire, for all the cities, Palm Springs, have a minimum in place. The minimum that Uber is trying to sell you with yes on 22 is 30 cents a mile. Pathetic. From LA to Vegas and halfway back 500 miles, I get $150 for that trip, right? Less my gas and expenses, you're not making money. The 120% BS lie that they're selling you on minimum wage is only for driven hours. So that equates to $5.65. What is $5.65 in comparison to $16 in Seattle? Nothing. So you have to have your minimums here in place in LA. Right? Could very well be $17, $18. Could be $20 for San Francisco. And then you can earn upward, right? So when they say like, hey, you can earn upward, that they say, for example, the formula is intended to produce hourly pay of just under $30 before expenses, before your gas, before your this, before your that, and to motivate the companies to keep their drivers busier rather than flood the market with cars to reduce passenger weights, right? So I'm all for this. Minimums in place for all US cities, for all international cities, with the ability to earn upwards. Knowing, take Seattle, 16 minimum, I can go up to 30, I can make 35, I can make 25. But what I can always rely on in my math is that if I'm doing a 5-hour day, I've got $80 in the bag. 5 times 16, period. What do you think? Now, huge shout out to my sponsor, Cova. I use them. It starts at $7 a month. You've got your auto insurance, you've got your medical insurance. You need a gig protection plan. If anything goes wrong, if you get deactivated, they kick in. If you're in the hospital, if your car's in the auto body shop, you're losing out, they kick in. They cover all the companies. My link below gives you a free month. Go and play around on the dashboard, check it out. It's a very, very minimal entry point here at $7 a month, right? You can even advance yourself monies. Have a great day, everyone. I'm excited to hear your feedback. Thank you.